The approval of the Willow drilling operation by Biden in Alaska is merely a first move in preventing the next energy crisis. This week, the Biden administration finally gave the Willow project in Alaska's North Slope, a location for oil extraction inside the National Petroleum Reserve, its long overdue sanction. Although the statement shows that the administration is beginning to realize how important natural fuels are to the country's energy security, there is still more that the administration needs to do right away. Since energy costs started to soar and inflation ruined the economic prospects for millions of Americans, it has been more than 2 years. The Biden government made an effort to minimize the role energy supplies played in re-establishing economic stability during this period. Instead, by spending trillions of dollars to increase America's reliance on sporadic renewable energy supplied from China and deplete the strategic petroleum reserve for political price-fixing purposes, President Joe Biden chose to fan the fires of unrest. The efforts of a large and bipartisan coalition of state and municipal leaders, worker unions like the AFL-CIO, business, and the American people have gone unnoticed by the government for the entire time. They all understand that Iran, Venezuela, OPEC, or any other country will be more than happy to assume America's position at the table of energy superpowers if we do not act to cover the gap left by Russian President Vladimir Putin's aggressiveness in Ukraine. Years in the making, Alaska's Willow project serves as an example of the limited potential of the thousands of unfulfilled or refused licenses under a government at war with fossil fuels. The project has the potential to produce 180,000 barrels of oil per day, bring in $8 to $17 billion in additional tax money, much of which will be used to offset the impact of excessive government expenditure, and create 2,800 employment, 300 of which will be permanent. It's high time the administration joined the National Petroleum Reserve, which the federal government established specifically for this situation. Sadly, Biden appears to be taking only the absolute minimum of action. This is demonstrated by the fact that only 3 out of 5 North Slope contracts were approved by Biden, but that's not all. As soon as his government grudgingly approved a portion of the Willow project, Biden quickly reversed course and permanently barred 16 million acres of Alaskan land from future development. This imperils both Alaska's and our country's economic futures as an energy-dependent state. Alaska is not the only state to suffer from a government that is so cut off from the struggles that millions of Americans face. The Biden administration stopped all inland oil and gas licensing in 2021, shocking a crucial sector that was already feeling the effects of COVID-19. There are many contradictions in the Biden government. The president boldly declared at the State of the Union that we will only need fossil fuels for at least another 10 years before canceling the Keystone XL pipeline on day one. Now, his administration has approved a project that will be fully operational at the end of Biden's 10-year countdown for oil. The project has the potential to produce 180,000 barrels of oil per day, bring in $8 to $17 billion in additional tax money, much of which will be used to offset the impact of excessive government expenditure, and create 2,800 employment, 300 of which will be permanent. The past 2 years have taught us many hard lessons, outside of the political roller coaster that is the Biden administration, but few stick out more than the significance of plentiful, reasonably priced, and dependable energy for a developing world. When we disregard this instruction, Americans pay the price, as do our friends, and our enemies profit. The phrase "made in America" must include all forms of American energy if the Biden government genuinely upholds it. The most crucial component of this must be the long-delayed revision of permitting. The Trump administration took this pledge seriously and implemented daring policy changes, such as authorizing the Willow project in 2020, to not only safeguard our national and economic security but also to provide additional global security by unleashing American energy abundance. The federal government must give Americans the freedom to reach their maximum potential and avert the subsequent global energy catastrophe if we are to maintain our position as a global energy leader. In order to support a struggling American and global economy, this can begin by authorizing more oil and natural gas permits as well as new pipelines.